We now see customers designing with automotive grade product or product that comes off a high rel process already, or doing other means to screen their system, whether it's not at a pure component level, they're doing it at a board level or a system level or an enclosure level to mitigate exposure. Why isn't that sufficient for space?
Well, first, the automotive grade parts are, I think, amazing. For what the screening that they put on those parts for what you get is great, right? Very little cost increase and a lot of increased reliability. So I think they have a great application. But automotive grade parts aren't designed for space. You could have the most reliable mechanical part that will work great until it gets hit with a heavy ion and then it blows up, right? So it's that radiation screening that really sets, us apart from any other, automotive grade companies. I will say that we do hear of a lot of people, launching parts with automotive grade parts. And I think it's a risk. It's a huge risk, if you're willing to do that. And it's a very costly one if there is, any kind of change in the part or, how that performance is gonna be over time. So we avoid that, right? We upscreen parts and we do the radiation testing. And, VPT is very fortunate to have acquired a radiation test company that does a lot of that. That really makes it vital for being able to test parts quick, test a lot of parts. We leverage having our own radiation test company for that.
So variability across lots is important.
It's a problem for sure. We definitely see same part number, same manufacturer will change the radiation performance between lots. And, part of that is because, a lot of the commercial parts are built in different fabs. These companies will have, a couple different fabs. And they could have, the radiation performance is dependent a lot on the manufacturing process. So one lot can be fine, the next one couldn't be. What we also see is, look, if they're a commercial part, they don't have to tell you when something changes. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the manufacturers will make a change, for whatever reason, increased performance or increased, reliability, increased production yield that could completely change the radiation performance. So if you're not testing, every lot that you're building with, you run a huge risk that the part's going to fail once you launch it, and that's a hard time to realize that you have a failure.
Yeah, I imagine that's a tough lesson to learn in orbit.